3 minutes.
Sorry.
That's okay. Grand Rising, everyone. This is Ron. It is Sunday, November 2nd, 2025, and a little after 11 a.m. So let's get started. We had a great discussion on yesterday, talking about commitment a little bit and understanding what it means to be Elohim and really getting a feel for that, a grasp for that, and even talking about melanin a little bit, linking all those things together. Any questions at all about what we discussed on yesterday? Questions and/or comments?
Good morning. This is Vermel.
Yes,
Um, Sage had asked us yesterday where our struggles might be, and I gave some thought in our struggles in accepting that we are God. And the what crossed my mind that I'm struggling with is
hmm
the example he talked about with the doctor. You go to school and you get out, you don't really become a doctor till you're doing practicing. But for me, I think that's where I have my hesitation, my doubt. Um, is that when things happen, I don't think that I forget that I am God, because I can say to myself, I am Elohim, but I think it's just in the practice of it, like you and Nick were explaining. So that's where my struggle was, or where my struggle is.
Okay. I like that. Let's begin there. Uh, anyone would like to address that first? Um,
Just going back and everybody, just a reminder to all of us. It's not unlike going to school for the first time and learning new stuff that we've never heard before. Well, this is similar to that because it's simply we've heard it in our DNA,
yeah.
but we've not accepted it. And so the just like going to the gym where you practice, um, this calls us to do one thing. It calls us to be. It calls us to be who we are. And we've been told so many different lies about who we are, and that baggage has been things that we've been stripping away over the years. All of the definitions, all the boxes people have put us in, and so the struggle is, I guess, to some extent, Romel, it could be, is it that simple? Well, yeah, yes and no. It's that simple if, in fact, you embrace it totally and you live it every day. In other words, you live by the principles of Maya. You live by the principles of love and mercy and justice. In other words, you be what it is Elohim is. That's what Elohim is. But the struggle is, we've been told so many things that it's hard to just live in this physical realm and having to deal with people who are not there, which is why a lot of people say that fellow's going to make me lay my religion down. Well, you know what? You ought to lay your religion down because it has not served us well. So the struggle is acceptance and embracing it, and then practicing it. Practicing it is simply being it with conscious intent every single moment.
Thank you.
You. Um, the question I posed yesterday is having the results that I had hoped for. And the results that I'd hoped for is that you will question yourself as to where you are and what you believe, how strong you believe it. What does it look like to be God? Those kinds of things that I'm sure that you raised within yourself yesterday or last night. I know we don't know what it looks like to be God. I'm very much aware of that, and I'm sure all of us are. But when we look at the things where and God said, the main thing that we see is that we are creators. We are Elohim, and when we look at Genesis, Elohim is a creator, and the creative ability of Elohim is in bringing everything into existence in this earth realm, and not only bringing it to an existence, but also maintaining it, not through physical means, but maintaining it through the spiritual life. It's through spiritual life itself. So, being the creators and the sustainers of life in the earth, that begins at least to give us a glimpse of what it looks like to be God. So there's much more to what I'm saying in that regard, but I would wait before I go further with that. I'm done.
Okay. Thank you. Um,
Ron, if I could add just a little bit.
yes, ma'am.
Just like those of us who had the opportunity to birth a child, and those of us who've not had the opportunity biologically to birth a child, but to accept and love a child as our own. Whether it's a father whose wife just had a child, or whose significant other just had a child, doesn't matter. That feeling of, wow, we made this. I made this. And it's my responsibility. And I'm accountable for this life, the guidance of this life. I'm accountable for how it grows. I'm accountable for feeding it. I'm responsible for making sure that it's secure, has a secure future. And all of those things are not done generally with us wondering how in the heck we're going to do it. That first response is the glimpse of the God that we're talking about, the glimpse of Elohim. It's almost indescribable when you that hey, this is something I created and I have to protect it. I have to give it. I have to nurture it. And again, whether you're a biological parent or whether you are someone who just accepted someone in your life and became the spiritual parent, because the spiritual parent is much more important, quote unquote, my quotes, than the biological parent, if that resonates. And so that's a glimpse. If you ever had that experience, that's a glimpse of the Elohim that you are. And that's just one example. Having mercy on that person that seems down and out, but because you did something, whether it's invited them in your home or invited them to lunch or gave them something for lunch, without any concept of getting anything in return. That's sort of the feeling. Giving blood is another example. You know, you give blood. If you give blood, you give it selflessly. It's something that you have, that you quote unquote control, and you choose to provide or not. But the actual giving of blood is another example, because you don't expect anything back, because you don't even know who's going to get it. That's not the point. The point is your intent and why you did it. And so, and if the intent and why we do things is just to be helpful, to be loving, to be supportive, to ensure balance and justice, those are the important concepts that give us the glimpse of and the template for the God that we are.
You muted, Ron.
I am sorry. I was just saying, beautifully said, Barb. I was kind of going the same way this morning. I want to read a scripture to you and let us continue this conversation. Matthew chapter 7, verse 7. Matthew 7, verse 7. It says, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it will be open to you. All three of those words, ask, seek, and knock, talking about doing something in earnest, doing something with great intensity. I liken this to childbirth, becoming a mom. Ask even, it talks about creating a space that it is already done. When you ask, it is already done. This is not me asking you for a cookie or asking you, can we go to Disney World? This is an intense need. So I ask this thing, and when I ask, I create space for it. And it is so much to the point that I can feel what I'm asking for. I feel this thing. So I thought childbirth was being pregnant with a child was a perfect example. And then Barb comes with this. Why are you creating space? Because it is already something done. And it is the African as we look at this, that to me, because of who we are, we feel the pain of the world. When we ask, we feel the pain, and the feeling of that pain is the creating the space. That is the earnest. That is the thing that is necessary. That is the intensity of it. So we ask with a great intensity, and we seek this thing because it is already there. So you start looking for it, but you create the space for it too because of who you are. You create the space for it. You're the one that's going to birth this. You're the one that's going to make this thing manifest. So as we look at it as to being Elohim and understanding that, as someone said, putting this thing in practice, you can become a doctor, but when you start practicing it is when you're really a doctor. And when a woman becomes pregnant and going through her gestations and all those moments she had along with her baby, they are bonding, they are becoming one. But she is also creating space not only in the physical sense, but spiritually and mentally within herself to make room in her life for this thing. So it doesn't matter what her life like was prior to that. This takes priority. So being Elohim does not necessarily mean that I stop struggling with my bills. It doesn't mean that I'm going to get new stuff or a new job is going to pop up or any of that stuff. It is I am taking responsibility for the pain of others. I am taking responsibility of the plight that I see the nation. And it is easy for me to see myself, meaning most of my pain has come from seeing the pain of the African. Most of the pain is seeing the stuff that is going on the continent of Africa. But the pain, the biggest pain that I need to face. The biggest one in pain is the one with the European attitude. He is suffering, and I need to turn my attention to that. That is what I need to give my attention to. That is what the intensity and this thing that is causing me to create space inside of me is longing for, because I can see the pain that the European attitude causes, but I don't see the pain of the European. And that to me is Elohim being able to see the whole picture, the big picture, and understanding that I am mama, I am daddy, and all of this is my responsibility.
Right. Um, Feeling the pain of the European mindset. And instead of focusing on the pain that the European mindset has caused, it's an attribute of Elohim, right?
Okay.
We've talked about the racism. We've talked about the pain that we are experiencing and have experienced. We've talked about the pain and abuse of our ancestors. But we've not talked about the hidden pain of those with the European mindset. Hurt people hurt people. I think that concept is just as real when we look at the abusive nature of that European mindset. Well, I don't do suppositions anymore, I guess. We've talked about the European knows who we are, that mindset anyway. The leadership in it knows who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Jealousy is painful. And jealousy makes you do things that you would not normally do. For example, a man is jealous of his wife and he goes in and he takes her life. His jealousy has caused him to remove from him that which he truly loved. Now he doesn't have her, and neither does he have the opportunity to live his life as he thought he would. Why? Because his jealousy has caused him to do something that he never thought he would. And that is a continuous process with a lot of people who get into jealous rages. European goes into Africa and sees everything that he doesn't have. And rather than accept what is being given freely, the jealousy says, take it all and make them your servants. In Columbus' diary, he wrote about the generosity of the indigenous people and how kind they were and how accepting they were of them, the strangers. And then he wrote, this will make them easier to conquer. Their kindness made it easier to conquer them. That mindset is a mindset of greed. So what causes greed? A desire to have something or to have whatever you want, even if you have to take it from someone. And why would you take something from someone who's already given it to you? Because you're jealous. Jealousy is a very dangerous thing. So let's look at that concept that you just raised, Ron. Why are we the most forgiving people in the world? Why do we always make every effort to project love and kindness for everyone, regardless of what they have done? Is it because we are Elohim? Or is it because we are Elohim and we are experiencing the pain of the abuser and calling it our pain? Yes, we have suffered pain, but being focused on the pain that has been directed towards us is not the pain that has to be healed. And what I mean by that is this. If we embrace the pain of the abuser, then not only do we have opportunity to move the abuser to a mindset where it no longer desires to inflict pain. When we do that, then we are at the same time healing the pain that we have received, the pain that we have been traumatized with, but also removing the desire to inflict pain by those with that mindset. And in order to do that, as you and Barbara stated, giving birth means that you have to move, make space for the baby. And when you make space for the baby, what you're actually doing is removing yourself from that space, which gives you not only a better view of what's in that space, but it also grants you the opportunity to protect what's in that space. I'm going to say something that probably sounds really, really crazy. Europeans are in a space of self-hatred being projected to us. It is no different than, of course, it's on a larger scale, but it is no different than a child being angry with its parents because the parent occupies a space and understanding that the child does not realize yet, so they rebel. And the rebellion of the European is more vile than the rebellion of a child and a parent. But at the same time, it's still rebellion. And the enslavement, the racism, all of that is rebellion against God. And the scripture speaks about what happens when you rebel against God. The difference in what happens in the scripture and with us is this. when we read about Elohim being with the rebellion against Elohim, Elohim puts down the rebellion. We have not put down the rebellion because our focus has been on the pain that we have suffered as a result of the rebellion. However, when we recognize that we are God, that we are Elohim, we see that the mindset of the European is actually no different than a group of angels seeking to rebel against God. The story in Ezekiel that talks about the angels who rebelled against God and he cast them out of heaven has never made any sense to me. I never could understand why you would create angels or messengers that you knew were going to rebel against you simply for you to cast them out. It makes sense to me now because that is not the way it really is. The teachings that we received about that were from the perspective of the one who is doing the rebellion and putting themselves in the space of being the creator who put down the rebellion, when in essence, they are the ones who are rebelling against God. We being Elohim means that whatever is perpetrated against us for the purpose of destruction is a rebellion against God. And we have a choice. When Moses was talking with God, let me put it this way. When we talk about the concept of drawing things out of people, the European mindset, we mostly focus on drawing that mindset out of Africans. Why don't we look at it from this perspective, transforming that mindset so that it will be congruent with the African mindset, not just for those who are Africans, but for everyone who has that mindset. In order to do that, we have to lay our pain aside. We have to create space so that as that mindset is transformed, there is space within us to be the protector and the provider for those whose mindset is being transformed. That cannot happen if we continue to see this as an enemy as opposed to an opportunity. Yes, there is rebellion, but this rebellion grants us a golden opportunity as opposed to us seeing it as a war between the African and that mindset, that European. It's an opportunity to be the creators that we are. We created everything in this earth. Elohim brought life into this earth, sustains life in this earth. Our sustaining life in this earth, being focused on the principles of Ma'at, or the principles of righteousness, with our focus on that and a desire to transform the mindset of those who have perpetuated racism and have abused us in so many different ways. If we shift our focus from that, what do we see? We have talked about white people have to feel the pain that they've inflicted on others. What we are actually saying is white people have to realize the amount of pain that they're in that causes them to project it to others. And we talked about white people voting against their self-interest. Of course, we do it too, but it's that mindset that votes against their self-interest. People don't vote against their self-interest unless they're ignorant as to what their self-interest is. Now they're beginning to see what their self-interest is. And now the rebellion is beginning to be more towards the mindset that will cause you to be hungry just because it can. The mindset that would deny you health care even though they have health care themselves. The mindset that will keep you in a state of poverty while they are continuously gaining wealth. The people who have been voting against their self-interest are beginning to see the pain that they have been in and chose to ignore or was totally ignorant of its existence because they were blinded by the hate that they have for people who don't look like them. So now we are in the midst of putting down a rebellion against God. And we do that by drawing everything out of those who have that mindset that will cause them to be as evil as they are. And when they see the pain that they cause themselves while trying to hurt others, when they see that pain, then it is opportunity for us to show them a better way. But we cannot continuously focus on our pain because if we do, then are we being as Elohim is? Why do I say that? I'll raise that question because Elohim is one who you can rebel against, but you cannot defeat. And if we are focused on pain, the question also is, why are we focused on our pain? Is it because we are afraid that continuous pain will destroy us? Is it because we don't believe or feel that we can be healed from the pain? Physician, heal thyself. Heal yourself from this pain by recognizing that you're Elohim and nobody can hurt you or destroy you. Heal yourself so you can see the healing that others need. Heal yourself so that you can say the hard thing out loud so that you can embrace those things that you never thought you would embrace. Recognize those things that you have not seen or chose not to see. And that is everywhere you look in the scriptures and you see a rebellion against God, it is speaking of that mindset that rebels against us. That's what it looks like to be God. That's what it looks like to be Elohim. Of course, there's more than that, but that's a portion of what it looks like. Elohim, saying to those who profess to be the ones who are going to draw this evilness out of the mindset of humanity. We want to destroy them, says Elohim. Elohim says, I'm going to destroy them. And then what happens? That mindset of Elohim who lives in a body says no. Everyone would think that you were unable to protect them. If we are talking about rebelling against God, then what are we saying? If we don't leave the place of elevation and go into this space where the pain of this mindset is so horrific until it desires to create a God to do what it tells them, what it wants this God to be or do. This is religion. That golden calf is the communion table. That golden calf is the pulpit. That golden calf is tithe and offering. That golden calf is the manipulation of the human mindset. That golden calf is control. That golden calf is justification for slavery. That golden calf is justification for lynchings. We must go into the midst of that and do what? Ground up that golden calf and cast it into the streams, meaning that we must go into the midst of this religious / political hatred attitude and begin to infuse in it the righteousness that we are as Elohim, for us to be able to bring that mindset to a place where it is no longer desirable to humanity. And when it is no longer desirable to humanity, it is then that humanity will see the benefits of righteousness, the benefits of forgiveness, the benefits of loving kindness, and see the agony of hatred, and see how detrimental to them to self, how detrimental it is to yourself to hate or to seek to always be a dominant force in controlling humanity. So what I am saying now is all of the pain that that these poor trailer park white people are experiencing now is the pain that is necessary for them to see that they have been in pain and not knowing it, and they have been perpetuating their own pain, their own hardship. With us being in the midst of that, we are saying to them, there is a better way. And you see the better way. The hunger that you are expecting to experience because of SNAP benefits not being distributed. This pain shows you that there is a better way. You don't have to live in a country where you are kept in poverty and controlled by SNAP benefits. You have opportunity to bring into existence a system, a governmental agency or governmental a function that makes sure that all people eat, regardless of their status, economically or socially. A place where healthcare is truly a right. That opportunity is here because these are the main two things that's on the table today. And you see that when you fought Obamacare and accepted ACA, you were blind by the lies that were told to you by those who have brought all this pain to you. Now that you are recognizing that, you have opportunity to build a better system for everyone. And if we focus on that, if we, being Elohim, speak to our children in a manner that opens their eyes so that the pain that they're experiencing can be attributed to those who they thought had their best interests at heart, it is then that we will begin to see balance. It is no coincidence that white people and Hispanics are calling for us to help them. We are Elohim, and there is something in them that knows that. They have seen what Elohim has been able to do when we didn't even know we were Elohim. Now that we have it in the macro, now that we're embracing it, they're crying out to God to help them. And God is saying, not yet. You have not seen enough to embrace righteousness. Not yet. My heart goes out to you, but not yet. Yes, you brought this on yourself. Yes, I personally have been upset with Hispanics and Palestinians and especially poor white people. Yes, you brought this on yourself. But the heart of God is always filled with mercy, forgiveness, experiencing the pain that you are going through. But yet you have not opened your eyes enough. You still have blinders. And the thing that we are waiting for or shall see, when we see a shift in the politics of that mindset, that would be a signal that we are affecting change. Am I saying that we are looking to Democrats? No, I'm not. I'm saying that the most vulnerable space or the space where they will be most open to change is when their physical processing of things around them shifts to something they think is better, which means that they're open, their mind is open for something better. And the better thing that's available to them is what we make available to them through righteousness, through what we put in the macro. Am I clear, or is this confusing?
It's clear to me.
Clear.
Are there any questions about this or comments in regards to it?
Pastor, I have a question.
Yes.
Grand Rising family, and honor to the ancestors. Is the European mindset like our children?
Of course. Yeah,
That's what I hear you saying.
The rebellion of a child is no different than the rebellion that we were experiencing. Yes. And we have focused on the pain that it's caused us. When it did cause us pain, but the pain that it caused us pushed us to a space of embracing the essence of who we are.
Mhm.
And now that we are in that space of who we are, how can we hate our children? Children break your heart. But the objective is to bring children to a place of balance. Am I saying that they will become as melanated people are? No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that there is balance for humanity. Otherwise, why are we here? We are Elohim. Every place that you see Elohim in the scriptures, we have to see with a clarity that Elohim, who created us, is the one who says, go down the mountain to your people. That means that the place where you are, the elevated spiritual place where you are, you must go in the midst of your people, because they are believing that this God that they have made is their sustainer. You have to go in the midst of them and draw this out of them. And yes, it takes pain. Many of them will die in the wilderness. Only a small number of them will enter the land of promise. Only a small number of them will embrace righteousness as a source of deliverance. Yet it is incumbent upon us to get off our high horses and step into the wilderness with them, so that we can bring peace and harmony. And harmony doesn't mean that everybody is alike and think alike. Harmony means that we respect each other's existence. Ron?
Any thoughts or questions, y'all?
I have a question, Ron.
Yes, ma'am.
More of a request, a statement. Pastor, when you were when you said a little while ago, when you speak to your children, and I was thinking the whole time we've been talking about this, the importance of speech and negativity, and we've talked about this many times, but I feel like where we are with everything that's happening around us now, it's more important than ever to remind ourselves not only what we say to others, but the importance of the speech that we're saying internally to ourselves before it ever comes out of our mouth. Could you touch on how that plays into everything that you're saying now?
Yes. When you know that you're Elohim, you know this. And the reason it's important to be cautious in what you say is because you are creator. And in order to create in the earth, the physical mindset in the earth joins with the spiritual reality of things to birth into the earth. Your breath, you cannot speak without breathing. And your breath is the spirit, and the sound that's made with your breath, the audible sound, is a witness to what is being said. And what is being said causes the universe to move in that direction. So just because you think something in your mind, it doesn't mean that it has to be given life. You can avoid that negative thought by not saying it and reminding yourself, that's not who I am. And even if the words leave your mouth, you could nullify them by saying, that's not who I am. I regret having said that. That's not true. Those kinds of things, talking to yourself. We have the power to do that. We are Elohim. Just like the one who created us said, I will destroy them. And the one in the earth drawing all the evilness out says, no. And the one who created the Elohim having the physical experience says, go to your people, which means that the one who created us does not see the rebellious ones as their people. They are our people. They are the people of Elohim. They are the people of Moses, the one who's drawing out the deliverer. That's who it's talking to. Because The force in the earth is the one who dominates, and the dominator of the earth is Elohim having a physical experience. Kathy, I hope that helped.
It really did. Thank you so much for saying that.
Thank you for asking.
I want to add something. Are there any other questions? I thought this was important, and it came to me when Barb was talking and about childbirth and doing something for others, not with no expectation, right? Doing it because the word ask in Aramaic is Sheol, SHA-AL. The letters that it composed of is Shin, Aleph, and Lamed. Uh, Shin talks about having a passionate love that grows, something that is infinite, that continues to grow. Olive is talking about the oneness. There is no separation between who I am and who the creator is. And Lamed is talking about how do you express this love for the creator and self, for that matter, that oneness, that unity. So when you create this space, you don't have expectation, of course, but it is improving the relationship not only within yourself, but with you and the thing that you are creating, that thing growing, that you are making space for, excuse me. So being Elohim is not only cleansing the world and creating space for goodness and kindness, it is also building relationship with each other, with us in the creator, and with us in the universe, meaning everything and everyone, from the ancestors on to those who are not yet in the earth. We are creating space for a better world for all of that through love and compassion. Without and that is done because it is not being done selfishly.
We are creating space for those who have abused us.
Yes.
That is the result of forgiveness. Making space for those who you have perceived as harming you, whether it was intended or not. I'm done. Audrey?
I've been sitting here listening, and I always go back to when we talked about the Shabaka stone a long time ago. There was something on it that really, 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 really impressed me in terms of resonating with me just to the core. And it said, in terms of being Elohim, in terms of making space for those people, on the Shabaka stone, it says that sight, hearing, and breathing report to the heart. And then the heart devises whatever it can from the sight, hearing, and the breathing. And then the tongue speaks what the heart has devised. So if we are seeing with the eye, which is sight, and hearing with the ear, and practicing the breathing that's inherent in meditation, then our hearts can make room for all of this, no matter what's going on. So that then our tongues can say, I forgive you, or I can make space for you. So that's what I wanted to share, because that's always and I didn't quite put it all together for myself until today, what we're talking about right now. Anyway, but that's what I wanted to share.
That's a lot to share because when you really give thought to it, it encapsulates everything that we are about. It really does. Now, don't get me wrong. This does not deny that there is a barbaric nature involved here. When we talk about being barbarian, it's no different than talking about rebelling against God. You're not in your right mind when you rebel against God. Your thought has to be reordered. Your essence has to be transformed. And the transformation of the heart, the transformation of a thought process is done when you recognize the need for it and you can see what goes in its place. But if you have been generation after generation in a state of barbaric rebellion and you are not able to see because you're not looking in the mirror, you're looking at each other. However, when Elohim manifests in the earth, as we are manifesting, it is then that the construction of a mirror begins to come into focus. And when that mirror comes into focus, you see the mirror. One of the mirrors is Snap. When you look into Snap, what do you see? You see that the people that I have supported all my life, all the lies that they have told, the racism that they've embraced, I embrace every bit of that. But now I see differently. I see that the same hatred that they've had towards other people is the same hatred for me that they have for me. They treat me worse than they are treating other people. I'm not a part of that anymore. And when they see that, available to them is the righteousness that Elohim manifests in the earth. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah,
Yes, it does.
it does.
So that's what what I see. And I believe that all the discussions that I know that all the discussions that we've had in regards to who we are in terms of Elohim is us professing who we are for the manifestation of the nature of Elohim to permeate the earth. And that manifestation permeating the earth becomes a protector of those who are caught up in a mindset that is destroying them too. Ron asked me a question. Does all of this have to happen? All of what's happening must happen. When it gets to the place where the eyes, mind you, I'm saying the eyes are open and the struggle with self begins and the inflicted pain is realized and the source of it is recognized, it is then that the ancestors will guide us along a pathway that will put us in a space of protection for those who are seeking righteousness. But that hasn't happened yet. Do I believe that there will be bloodshed? Yes, I do. But it doesn't have to be. Do I believe that the system that is functioning now will prevail? No, it is not. I know it's not going to prevail. The extent to which it has to inflict pain is based upon what it takes to open the eyes of those who have been reared in a barbaric system and has embraced it because it gave them privilege.
Mm.
They are the determining factor in how long this pain will be suffered by them. Does that make sense? I
It
mean,
does.
look how long we're in pain. Look how long Christianity held us in bondage. We did not know what freedom looked like. We did not know what spirituality looked like. We didn't know. Just like now we're professing that we really don't know what it looks like to be Elohim. Well, the course of what I was saying today is an effort to help you to see what it looks like to be Elohim, full of forgiveness, slow to anger, but quick to forgive. I'm done.
Pastor, this is Charles. I understand a whole lot what you have said. Okay, so we've been told who we are and who we are to be. And until we learn how to balance all this, that's how we can bring balance to humanity. And then when we balance humanity, then we'll be able to balance creation and everything will be in harmony.
Yes.
I understand. But tell me this, how we know, how we can understand balance, how we see balance, how we know that it is balanced the way that as God, how we can be that balance for everyone.
How you know, I don't know. But I do know that you will know. How do you know you're Charles?
By everybody calling me name Charles.
How does Charles know he's changed?
Okay.
What does that look like? When did Charles change?
I
didn't
got
know-
you.
You didn't know you had changed until you look back at what you were not. Am I right?
Right.
So you see balance in retrospect. But what it looks like, I have no idea yet. But do I believe that we're going to see it? Absolutely, I do. See, I don't believe anything that's in the Akashic consciousness that's not available to us. Everything is available to us. Everything that was, is, and ever shall be. So there is no doubt in my mind that we are going to be able to see it. It's just not time. And the timing is not ours. And the reason the timing is not ours is because we have submitted our free will, because we don't want our timing to be adverse to the timing of the universe itself. So we leave the timing in the hands of the universe. And when I say the universe, I'm talking about all inclusive. When I say universe, I'm talking about cosmic mother, I'm talking about ancestors, I'm talking about every source of rhythm, every frequency available. All of that is in their hands, under their authority. And so are we under their authority. So that's where we are. It's like your parent does not talk about everything or cannot explain things to you until you're in a state of maturity where you can process it. And that's where we are, in the midst of spiritual processing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
Good
Hey,
question, Charles.
good morning.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, George.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Based on what Mr. Charles stated and what's been stated before about the Creator, I don't view myself as Elohim. Yet I do view myself as a creator. And based on what Mr. Charles stated about bringing balance and being a creator, one of the things that I take a liking to is an area of discomfort and or chaos. And what I mean by that is when I get to the yard at any DC and they tell me, hey, George, park that trailer in Delta Row, I am going to park that trailer in the most difficult parking space on Delta Row. I'm not going to take the part of Delta Row that got 3 open spaces. I am going to embrace the chaos and put it in the most difficult hole so I don't lose my edge and backing. So if you're going to bring balance to a situation, in some aspects of bringing balance up, the preamble part has come, there is a degree of discomfort or chaos. So if you are a creator, or with me, as a creator, I embrace chaos. And also as a creator, in some cases of bringing balance, I have to implement chaos for someone in the group or for the group to spark some degree of creativity. So if you, just as a suggestion, if you view yourself as a creator, my perspective is you have to appreciate chaos. And if we really look at the aspects of Elohim and the creator told Eve and Adam and the serpent, because of what you did, I'm going to allow some degree of chaos. So that's just my perspective of when there is balance and you view yourself as a creator, you have to have some area of liking for discomfort. Thank you.
the chaos that is created by Elohim is the unveiling of the things that's causing pain to humanity. When we desired for everything to be brought to the surface, And the system put in place a chaotic individual. That chaotic individual started uncovering everything. And as a result of that, we are in an environment of chaos right now. And our purpose is not to perpetuate the chaos. Our purpose is to make the chaos known to humanity. So humanity will seek order. And Elohim takes that chaos and brings it to a state of order for the benefit of humanity. Chaos is not brought into existence by Elohim simply for it to be chaotic. Chaos is revealed for the purpose of Elohim creating order. And the chaos that we are dealing with now has been in the earth since the beginning. And it became more evident when that European mindset began to express its jealousy and rebellion against its creator. And that has persisted until now. And we have taken that chaos by the horns. And in the process of bringing order to it, today what we have seen is that the space that brings order has to be created by us. And that space that is created by us brings that chaos into our midst. And that is when we begin to bring order by virtue of loving those who are the perpetuators of chaos, but not loving the chaos itself, but letting them hurt enough to see how chaotic their lives are so that they will crave balance, they will crave order. And we're in the midst of seeing that transference, that transformation as we speak. Thank you.
Any questions, y'all? Comments?
I saw it as Nebuchadnezzar. The more he turned on the Hebrew boy, all the pressure was there. God is in the midst. No matter what fire you get put in, what comes, it seemed like God wants you to stand in there and do what you're supposed to do as God.
Charles,
Go up. Yeah.
God is not in the midst. You're in the midst because you're God.
That's what I'm trying to say.
There you go. Now,
That's what I'm trying to say.
That whole story about those who were in the fiery furnace says that when those who are perpetuators of chaos, greed, anger, etc., seek to harm mankind and you will be in a fiery furnace, a spiritual furnace, meaning that all the dross will be burned off of you. You will be purified going through the fire. Those things that hurt you, those things that you have to give up, that you held tight to, those things that the mindset that has to change within you, the people that you have to embrace. All of this is the fire that purifies you. And when you are purified, it does not mean you're perfect. Purification means that you recognize those things that are antithetical to humanity, and you refrain from doing or saying them. It means that even though you are still in the midst of those who brought you the pain that was the fire, when you come out of it, you can't even tell you've been in it. And that is why people say to you, there is something different about you. That is why people come to you and tell you their problems and don't even know you. It's something different about you because you don't have the smell of smoke on you, meaning that you are not, you don't have this sense of being messy and manipulative and controlling. You are a magnet to them because of your righteousness. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
And thank you, Charles, for bringing that up.
Has I know it has, but has this helped? Are we seeing Elohim now? Are we more comfortable with the idea or the thought of that?
I am.
Say that again, Ron.
Just where we are we okay with who we are, recognizing it and that we are Elohim and that not being uncomfortable to us?
Not okay, but comfortable with it. More comfortable with it.
More comfortable with it, yeah.
Yes, I feel more comfortable after this discussion day. I do.
Okay. I say this too, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever happens, that it kind of brings us anxiety. Remember who we are, and we all a phone call away. If there's someone that you need to talk to or send a text to, because we're in a critical space now, and it's just a lot going on.
Yes. The weekend after Thanksgiving, we will not meet. The weekend after Thanksgiving, we will not meet. And today we do have California.
Okay.
When you say not meet, you mean that
That
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, the Saturday, Sunday, Monday after Thanksgiving, we will not meet.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And don't forget, from the 25th of November to the December 2nd, is it, Barbara?
Yes.
That the boycott. We buy absolutely nothing. Thank you.
Okay.
No
Nothing from
store,
big box
nothing.
stores. Nothing from big box stores. You can do your neighborhood, your family store, your neighborhood kind of thing, but the big Targets, the Walmarts, the Macy's, the big box kinds of things, the Costco's,
Okay.
all of those big giant stores that make money off of you is what we're talking about.
So
No
only
movies, no going out to the movies.
only mom and pop stores.
Can you repeat the dates again, Miss Barbara?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
November
25th.
what is it? 25th through December 1st, December 2nd.
Okay, thank you.
That's the Thanksgiving week, and it's your Cyber Monday and your Black Friday too, which are going to be two big days for us to show our economic impact.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Excellent. Is there anything else?
As word of encouragement, Target has closed several stores and have done multiple layoffs. And last week they laid off 1,000 people in corporate. So the boycott is very effective.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, excellent discussion, guys. Appreciate your energy, your questions, your comments, your breathing. You know, we're one. So enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to tomorrow, and thanks again.
All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.